Hey guys, how's it going? So today we got another project. This is gonna be a bitch and a half, but it's gonna be worth it. So you see, she's up in the air again. Nothing to do with the turbo this time. Well, kind of to do with the turbo. I need a new clutch, to put it simply. The clutch on this car is not rated for more than like 160 horsepower. And with that turbo, I'm now probably pushing 170, 180. So I'm right on the edge of what I can't use. So I got this baby. This thing, this clutch, can handle 310 foot-pounds of torque and over 300 horsepower. So I won't be needing to change a clutch anytime soon after this one. Nice and beautiful. Got the bearing right there, pressure plate. Yeah, so we're gonna be pulling apart my trans, getting that off, which is underneath the turbo, right down there, right where those cables are hooking up. So we need to get that off, and after that we gotta get the wheels off. We have to pull the CV axle out. Well, not out, but out enough so we can get the trans out. And yeah, that should be it. I'm gonna look at some more tutorials before I really start to dig into this. I'm just gonna get it all nice, ready, and prepped. But that's what we're doing. Getting the clutch off, replacing it with a new one. This is gonna be a process and a half, but let's fucking do it. I'll catch you guys when I at least get the wheels off and try to get the CV axle out. All right, so after a spill from the CV axle coming out, I'm now taking apart all the stuff off of the slave cylinder so I can get that off. And once that's off, I'm then going to go up top, unbolt the rest of the things up there, and we should be able to start to pull this down. I might have to take this off. All right. But we'll see. All right. So we're a little farther. Got the intake mostly taken off because I got to get the bolts right down in here so I can pull off that trans mount. But if you look underneath, I have the bottle jack set up for the motor. I'm gonna have to move the return line. I get the slave cylinder off. I have the starter off, that's right there. And the CV axles are out of both sides. It is time to start unbolting everything and pulling this off. Alright guys, well, as you see, the trans has separated from the motor. We got two floor jacks in here. One of them's holding this section up, the other one's holding this section up. So now what we got to do is pull the trans back out and down, and we can get to the clutch right behind there. All right. Well, trans is off. There's the old clutch. That's coming out. But to explain how this came down, we had to get a third jack on the back here, as you can see. That is holding that segment up right over there. And that allows it, you have to unbolt all 5 of those back there because that whole unit comes up with it. But the trans comes down with the centerpiece. We don't have it fully off because we don't need to. But now, with the trans down, we can get into the clutch there and replace that with the brand new, the Act Extreme Performance Sprung Disc. So now we got to get everything off and put this on. All right, well, we got that off now. The clutch and the pressure plate are off. They are right here. There was not much left of this one. Just kind of had it. Same with this plate. But
now, how's that flywheel on that thing?
the flywheel can go for another run. Yeah. I'm gonna change that on stage 2. When I change the transmission, I'll change the clutch or the flywheel. But this is going to replace this. Whew. All right. All right, well, the new pressure plate, clutch, pilot bearing, bushing, all of that. I just got to put the splines back together, make sure it's centered, and she's all set to go. All right, well, as you can see, the trans is almost up. There's a little bit of a gap right there, but we were able to lift it back up, get the bolts back in that front and in that rear. Now that this is back up, we are going to have to line this up so we can get these working and pull the bell housing back in, and we should be almost all set to get everything going again. So, hell yeah, we got this. All right, so after a painstaking time of trying to get that trans to line up, we finally got it lined up. The bolts are in. It is 2 torque spec, as well as getting the mounts up top here put back in. As you see, the ECU is put back in. All we got to do now is get that mount right down there to go back in with a cotter pin at least to keep the turbo from moving. But other than that, everything is back in. All I got to do is get the starter back in, get that pipe on, get the turbo all set up and ready to go. Clean up a bit, put the CV axles back in. That's another thing, get those back in. And quite frankly, she's ready to rock again. I am so happy this is done. But, oh yeah, and I also have to put a little bit of trans fluid in after that small spill we had at the beginning here. But, oh yeah, so the last you remember, I had that really old crappy turbo. Well, the thing is, that old crappy turbo actually blew up on me. I lost the turbo seals, had oil everywhere. There's still a little bit of oil in the intake manifold after cleaning it. But, got a new turbo, that's on. Rerouting the return line is another thing I got to do. There's a bunch of little things now. Everything is all set except for the little things. Because, oh yeah, also got to get this snap-on wrench out of here. This is got to go for the starter. Also, for anyone else that does clutches, make sure you get the clutch alignment tool with the clutch that goes to the car that you're working on. If you don't have this, you're pretty much fucked. All right. All right, guys. Well, we are driving. Hitting boost like normal. Picking up RPM. So, I think this clutch was a win. It's definitely a lot more stiff. It's weird. It's like it feels the same at the same time as it doesn't. It definitely grabs a lot quicker, and that's for sure. It grabs a lot quicker than what it did before, and it grabs hard, which is good. It's very good. Like, I'm actually chirping my tires every now and then. So she's just about ready to be tuned. That's coming up soon. I actually have a tuning day May 12th with Baxley Speed Shop. We'll see how that goes. I got my own little set of rules that I want to put down with the car, because I want to keep it. I want to get power, but I don't want to go too hard. and blow something up. So ground rules are basically I'm leaving the timing the same, and all I'm doing is a fuel trim and being a little generous with fuel to keep it a little hot. We're not going to pull back on fuel. We're mostly just going to keep it in the 12 range. I'm a little high right now, but yeah, keep it in the 12 range. So yeah, I will catch you guys when I go to do that. Yeah, so JK Garage signing off.